Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, I have a couple of creepy first stories to tell you all about today. One, a Pukwudgie sighting, and another, a mysterious roar from this cave or hole in the woods. Both stories are truly interesting. So let's start off with the first story. Pukwudgie of North Burlington, Illinois. Childhood encounter along the Fox River. Let's get into the article now and read the witness's story. What the family dog chased that summer evening in 2011 wasn't a fox, a raccoon, or any other animal familiar to Illinois woods. Standing just 3 feet tall, with gremlin-like features and oversized ears, the creature sprinted into the tree line, leaving 2 young witnesses with a mystery that would haunt them for more than a decade. Let's read the actual account now. Dear Mr. Strickler, I am a lifelong resident of North Burlington, Illinois, and an experienced outdoorsman. I am reaching out to share a rare cryptid sighting I personally experienced as a child, which I believe may be of interest to your research. Now, here are some facts to deal with the story. Eyewitness account possible Pukwudgie, North Burlington, Illinois. Witnesses J.S., age 11 at the time, and his sister 2 years younger. Location family property near the Fox River, North Burlington, Illinois. Not bad. Let's continue with this account, folks. Date, summer 2011. Description of sighting. While playing outside, our family dog chased a creature through the yard and into the woods. The humanoid was bipedal, approximately 3 feet tall, gremlin-like in appearance, with large ears, ugly, extremely fast, and unlike any known life form. We observed the creature running for about 150 feet until it reached the tree line, giving us a clear, prolonged view. Both my sister and I vividly recall the encounter, which remains unexplained to this day. Discovery of the term Pukwudgie in 2023 while working as a pawnbroker in Amos, Iowa. A regular customer described a creature he had seen using the term Pukwudgie. His description matched exactly what I saw as a child, prompting me to research the folklore and confirm that this is likely what we encountered. Is it, folks? If indeed it did look like this, folks, I can understand why we'd call it goblin-like or Pukwudgie-like, because it does sound like those kinds of creatures, folks. Credibility and expertise. I'm an experienced outdoorsman with interest in hunting, fishing, boating, and metal detecting, and I'm a former Boy Scout. I have spent thousands of hours observing wildlife and nature, which has given me confidence that what we saw was not any known animal, whether healthy or not. My sister independently corroborates the sighting. Context and significance. The area has significant Native American history, including burial grounds and artifacts along the Fox River. Folklore suggests Pukwudgies may act as guardians of burial grounds, which aligns with our location. While traditionally reported on the East Coast, this sighting suggests the Great Lakes region may also host them. So, is that possible, folks, that what they saw was some sort of burial guardian, folks? That Native Americans basically, and I guess other people have termed the Pukwudgie? It's an interesting idea, folks. But could it be a goblin or some other type of cryptid? Maybe. But let's finish off this article and then we can discuss it for a moment, I guess. This is a singular, vivid, and unexplained encounter. Neither witness has seen anything like it again. The creature's appearance and behavior were beyond bizarre and cannot be explained by conventional biology. I am confident in the veracity of this account. I am willing to answer any follow-up questions, provide additional details, or even take a lie detector test if needed to verify my honesty. Thank you very much for your time and consideration. I hope this information may be helpful in your research, J.S. There's also a note, folks. Let's get into that now. After speaking with J.S. personally, I noted that the North Burlington region has a history of unusual cryptid sightings and unexplained phenomena. This includes reports of winged humanoids that fit into the broader wave of encounters in the Chicagoland area. The possibility that different cryptid forms overlap in these areas makes the report particularly valuable, because that shows that it's not just these Mothmen that are being seen, folks, or maybe even, I guess, other types of winged cryptids, but other types of entities are in this area and been reported regularly as well, folks. It means that this area has a plethora of different cryptids living on it for whatever reason, and that they're being witnessed by the residents there continuously. So indeed, a very interesting tidbit of information. But anyway, folks, do you think it's all real, or do you think it's all just hokum? I think it indeed, at least to some extent, is being witnessed and is real. Either way, folks, let's move on to the next article. Hidden roar in the woods. We found a perfect hole and heard something unnatural. Let's hear exactly what the witnesses well, in their own words, experienced, folks. So let's continue. Nearly 3 decades ago, 2 curious teenagers stumbled upon a massive, perfectly round hole carved into a creek bank. This strange find soon became the prelude to an even more terrifying mystery. Moments later, a bone-shaking roar erupted from the woods, a sound so deep and guttural it vibrated through their bodies and still echoes in memory today. What could have produced such an otherworldly cry? Let's hear the full story as they wrote it, folks. There's one experience I had in the woods that still leaves me puzzled. Back when my buddy and I were in 8th or 9th grade, we decided to explore the woods behind my house. While we were walking, we came across a massive, perfectly circular hole in the side of a creek bank. The hole was probably 6 or 7 feet in diameter. We thought it was cool, so we tossed a couple of rocks into it and then continued on our way. After walking about 1.5 miles, we decided to head back. When we reached the hole again, we took a moment to check it out before moving on. I'm not sure if the hole is connected to what happened next, but shortly after we climbed out of the creek and walked maybe 20 yards, I heard the longest, most resounding, most guttural roar I've ever encountered. It was so intense that you could actually feel the sound vibrating through your body. So is it possible that there was something living in the cave, folks? Or maybe the cave was a tunnel and part of a network of, well, cave systems that something lived in, and by them basically throwing a rock into it, they might have woken or basically, well, intensely messed with something they shouldn't have, and they heard this roar, and it was, well, if it were a Bigfoot or other such entity that basically didn't like these people in its territory, this roar was a warning for them to get out of there as quickly as possible. But that's what I think this roar was, folks, some sort of warning. But let's leave off on any explanations or possible explanations until we finish off this article. My buddy and I exchanged glances, and without a hesitation, we sprinted the last 3/4 of a mile back to the house, which included running up a hill. I've never run that fast in my life. To this day, I have no idea what that roar was. A month ago, I came across a Bigfoot roar on the internet, which I believe was recorded by a moneymaker, and it sounded similar. I'm not claiming that what I heard was Bigfoot, but that clip was the only other time I've heard or ever heard a sound like it, and almost 30 years later, I still remember it as clear as day A. There's also a note, folks, so let's read that first before we come to any conclusions. This gripping account revisits a childhood encounter that combined an unexplained geological oddity with one of the most powerful roars the witness had ever heard, eerily similar to a famous Bigfoot recording decades later. Readers are invited to explore whether this experience was a freak natural phenomena, an unknown animal, or evidence of something far stranger lurking. Indeed, the fact that this man, A, says that this recording he heard sounds so similar to the roar he heard, folks, makes me think that indeed whatever was in that cave or hole was indeed a Bigfoot. As I said, folks, it was either that or maybe something very similar. Perhaps maybe a Wendigo or maybe even a devil monkey. Now, I'm saying this, folks, because, well, the devil monkey and Bigfoot are both, well, cryptid, well, hairy, hominid-like entities, so maybe they have similar behavior. But also, folks, that it's been said before that maybe Bigfoot is also a kind of troglodyte and lives in caves. Maybe this hole is one of the rumored, well, entrances to the interior of the inner earth. Maybe that was exactly what this hole was, folks. And perhaps this Bigfoot was guarding this entrance. But, folks, what about, well, in the decades since? Do you think no one else has seen this hole? It's been also said that entrances to the inner earth, or maybe caves or tunnel systems under the earth, can basically be, well, manipulated some way, folks. Either by, well, the inhabitants of the inner earth or alien beings. So, I would like to know what happened to that hole since then, folks. Either way, like in the first account, folks, with the Pukwudgie, remember, that entity appeared in front of the witnesses and then ran off. Maybe it was basically running to another entrance to the inner earth. Maybe that explains why these cryptids can appear and disappear at will. Maybe. Either way, we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics, they're bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions of the chat to go subscribe to me. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Hit the part of the bell that'll give you all future notifications, and please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.